We have three amazing creators and enjoyers of techno music. So first, just really shortly introduce yourselves. Tell a little bit what you've been doing, where, since when. Just short overlay.
All right, so I'm Alessandro Ugo, and I made this film. So I'm a full-time filmmaker, and I grew up between free parties, clubs, festivals, and I always loved the idea that we all share the same interest. And this film started in 2017. Also to answer some questions myself, I heard a lot of people saying, this film has answered a lot of questions myself, but that's the same reason why I did it. So it's been quite a journey. It took over 5 years, but eventually we're here.
I'm Rafael, also known as Rafi of Kallio. I organized several free party and also electronic music promotion as a Kova Sound. And also I stage manager of Cosmos Festival Gravity Stage. So,
Hello, my name is Niki. I've started on museum. I've been doing underground parties for 10 years soon, and enter I do visuals, sound system lights, etc. And I've been doing within parties and here in Finland and also in Czech Republic. It was nice to see some videos of the stage we made there 2019. Yeah, cool.
What kind of thoughts this film?
I would like to congratulate Alessandro to bring together all these stories of the pioneer of this culture. And you can see through the time that it has evolved a lot. I had the chance to open a few weeks ago Chris Liberator party in Helsinki, so I have also talks about it, but like he said, it brings like a lot of answers about also the community underground. And as you can see, we are in the period of time where there are wars, where economy is like really tight. I've been trying to do like DIY clubs in Helsinki, and my community, underground community, didn't really follow for several reasons, but actually one was that many students wasn't able to afford even 10 euro to go to a club, and we try to put low the price for the drinks and everything to be affordable for everybody. But we can see that today, like, free party has something to do where you have several party with awesome DJ from all around the world, but it's 30 euro to 40 euro tickets. So somehow party isn't for class or middle class people, it's belong to everybody. So I think by showing the culture, how it begins, I'm also French. So I have also see Nicolas Sarkozy legalize the rave and the riots that happens when police break down the materials and try to stop. So I think it's good to look back at what all has happened, and also the fact that techno music, with globalization and techno trying to get harder and harder and harder, at some point there is Axiom, who is a French producer, who said, if we continue to go harder and harder and harder, we'll have only hardcore music. So it's really nice that you also show that even tech house used to belong to free party culture, and really congratulations, because I think it's really important that all these stories are put together into a film and show that it's not only about not paying to party, but also free on your mind culture.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here because of seeing these people come together. I've been trying to promote free techno in Finland for like 7-8 years now, and it's been pushing it everywhere. There's like side parties and everywhere, like, hey, check out this music, check out this scene, and there's not many people doing this stuff around Finland, and it's hard to make culture alone if you don't have this kind of people interested in the movement. And I've seen some positive changes after the COVID to the general outlook of the techno underground scene. Not just hard techno, but industrial hard techno, and this kind of stuff has really changed the Finnish techno scene in the, I think, past two years. Yeah, and I also like had several setbacks trying to make some parties because I felt like that the public is not ready for these kinds of events, and in some cases I had to even cancel a festival 1.5 years ago, like a week before the festival, because the landowners didn't want to accept this kind of illegal type, like industry techno rave, and yeah, sometimes it's been hard, so we need a lot of help to find the right opportunities.
How the culture is different in Finland compared to Europe or elsewhere where you've been to parties?
I think it's, I had the chance to, with Kova Sound, the first year that we organized only in Helsinki. And the concept was, as a free party, also to offer the chance for beginner DJ to express themselves. And the second year that we did free party, we started to go to Tampere with Kova, also to Turku and Oulu. And I think it's really different place to place. Helsinki as a capital, I would say that one thing that as a free party organizer that I regret a little bit, and that's why it's so important that you should make that film, is that at some point where the message go further and more people came to the party, people just came because it was free and kind of like, oh, I can take drugs and don't pay a fee to the club. So I think there was this accidental type of correlation between free party and the fact that the people wasn't free to go to the clubs. So many people decided to do some open air electronic music party, and I think this brought up the whole electronic music culture in Finland. I was talking with Harry Proteus, and he played to our party, free party, and he told us like, hey, it's amazing, like in the 80s we were doing party at the same spot, and now you're doing it like 30 years later. And I think there is a, if you look at Finland, it's a small country, but you have like Jori Hulkkonen, who is worldwide known. You have also on the mainstream Darude, who made a track that's still playing all around the world. So I think as a Nordic country, Finland is like have a special place as electronic music. Turku and, for example, Tampere, I think from Nastek, what you are doing, and Kovaudin, is like the culture has more sense into your party than what we did or do as Kova Sound in Helsinki, because maybe because Helsinki as a capital, you have all these worldwide international DJ coming. So somehow I think the community is bigger. How do you say? You have more this sense of community who throw a party together and really understand the culture than, for example, in Helsinki.
Yeah, for me as a Finnish person, if I really want to understand the culture, I need to go to Europe to actually experience it. And I feel like Finnish is more like, or has been really like Berlin oriented until like 4 years ago. And our culture came, I think, mostly from the cities and Germany and Austria and also like Berlin techno type of music. So I think this kind of hard techno stuff has been quite unknown for Finnish people. It's like I would say like a couple of thousand people maybe are aware of the scene here in Finland. But if you go to Europe, it's a everyday normal thing, and I want to experience the nuances in the culture, like how do you operate stuff, how do you design, and what kind of stages you build, because of for example, stage design is quite different what we're used to here in Finland, and we don't have this kind of big sound system culture, at least when it comes to techno. We have a big dub related sound system culture, but that's the only like underground sound system culture that is known here in Finland, and that was one of the reasons I started building my own turbo sound stack to design it for techno and try to at least bring one system to the Finnish underground scene, and I'm still hoping to do some underground stuff in nature, not in concrete halls, and actually bring like the tribe kind of mentality, and somehow like I think the closest that Finnish people are used to this kind of culture is from the psychedelic scene, which really operates in many ways the same manner.
Something interesting you just said is that not many people, only 2,000 people in Finland, would probably know what a free party is. And I think that this could be the perfect occasion to make people know what a free party is without the stereotypical concept that evolved in the past 30 years in the rest of Europe. But you have all the tools to create something new, so that a free party is not necessarily just hardcore and hard tech, but everybody can bring, their own music. And that's actually one of the differences I experienced when I moved to London. So, of course, also for me, growing up in Italy, so doing free party in Spain, France, Italy, so was a synonym of, techno, just boom, boom, boom. That's what we all wanted. And when we moved to London, my first free party, when I arrived, it was playing kind of dub, and I was, what the fuck? There was even a rapping. And I was, so what's happening? And I finally found the second stage that was, proper hard techno. And I'm not joking in saying there were two people, me and the DJ. And at one moment, even the DJ left. And I went to I'm not joking. It was myself like, oh, yeah. And initially, I was still a young party goer, so it was, what the fuck? But then in the years, I came to appreciate the fact that, the free parties should be open to new genres. Like perhaps 15 years ago, I used to hate Ragatech. Now it's one of my favorites. So it's like that we also can evolve. And again, you have a great opportunity here. And especially, I know there are some rumors about some future technicals on those. And you guys can absolutely count on me. And I'm sure you will be absolutely great. And I'm sure you will come, everybody will come. Yeah.
I like the thought of that. Okay, let's really hit the core. For me, at least, I think this is important. And this free techno movement has roots in squat and anarchist ideology and movements. So does that resonate to you guys, or do you have some other kind of political, ideological?
I think that, generally speaking, the political part has been a bit lost compared to what it was at the very beginning. Although, of course, it's always been, just for the party. You want to go party, but maybe in 1990, it was also seen by everybody else as a way of protesting. Just to repeat the words they say, it was a way to express incontent and dissatisfaction. Nowadays, I'm not sure how many party goers would go to free parties just to say, I'm doing something against society. I mean, there's a political aspect behind, but, just for the idea of partying. Then again, generally speaking, I'm sure it's not like that for everyone, but for the majority, I think, that, by creating even just these kind of events, we have the possibility of bring some core values back, not necessarily political, but just being more aware. They can feel like political,
Yeah, for me, I'm anti-capitalist also, not in the sense of like, I like to see people like succeed. Like I think, for example, Matt Weasel Busters, is an enormous artist, is like so creative, and he deserves the success that he have. But I really think that, and I speak as a Western, who the system basically work that should be happy, and I think I will not be against capitalism. Is, for example, Apple, Facebook, and all these like multi-billions corporation would pay tax in Finland. And I think also like what's wrong in our society is that these people basically steal from us, because if even like they pay 1% like tax, we would have education amazing, we would like super hospitals and super services, but they basically steal that from us to have their life with billions, with money that even if they like buy everything every day, they will still have money. Like, and I talk about like for Finnish like for Finnish economy, but I think there is something wrong that we always think like the people who is ruining the economy is the people who get Kela, and on the other side you have I don't talk about like Finnish rich people, but I talk about like international company who make billions and doesn't pay even tax in Finland. So that's my political. I would say I'm idealist, and I would like to have like human rights. Like basically in every country, if we have like same level of taxation worldwide, I think there would be like less problem, I think.
Yeah, for me, it's like for the political aspect, I like to do these kind of parties so people can find a place that they can find like-minded people who can get together and conversate, and it doesn't need to be any particular political ideology, but you can discuss like what's important today, and find these kind of people who care and understand and think about the same stuff, and that's private, and you really be open-minded about what are you thinking about things happening today. And yeah, for me, it's not really about whether it's free or whether it pays. I think both of those aspects are important. If you want to do something like easy and some small event, then it's probably pretty easy to just bring your own stuff and then just pay a little diesel and that's it. Bring it to like nearby forest, etc. But then if you actually do something like that is really like what the fuck? Oh, this is like so cool. So for that kind of stuff, you need to have something to impress the people. Like, whoa, I haven't had this kind of experience before, and for me, it's a lot about the experience for the party goer that they feel like that it's really exciting and it brings the fire to like having this kind of things and to be able to be yourself.
I would like to hear from you two. Like, what do you wish to see? How do you wish to see the scene, the scene to evolve in the future?
I think, like, for me, the amount of people doesn't matter. But what I really wish is like us to make something together. And I'm DJ, and I don't want this happen so everybody know my name or something, but just make a big finger to all in this capitalist world, forget all about this and like just having fun, so people can come together, come behind the DJ, ask for something if they need. Bring water, bring lettuja, as it's how do you say in English?
Pancakes, we make pancakes.
Yeah, because the amazing thing is they do pancakes for everybody there. So I wish pancakes for everybody in the future.
Yeah, for free techno, I think it's a lot about the community. And when you speak about money, it doesn't need to be about money, but if everybody takes a small cut of the share of the energy you bring to the party, we all bring a little bit, and then suddenly everybody has something, and there's no need to buy anything, and that's the thing. So if everybody contributes in some way, that it doesn't need to be money, it can be a helping hand or supporting some resource or giving your land, like, hey, come to set up a party here and let's have a good time, and that's how it all starts. And it doesn't start about the business idea, but it starts about we want to do something cool and get together and have this experience.
Anyone in the audience want to ask? Okay, great. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is about ideology and the practice of it. So, like Rafi said, Finnish people are really affected by the hegemony and in discourse we tend to blame the poor and immigrants for our problems, but also the Finnish people have a high respect for authorities and listen to the police, and they're doing illegal things might be unthinkable for them. So in this context, how would you promote this idea of temporary autonomous zone and, occupying space? Like, since Finland really hasn't had any proper free party movement since the Reclaim the Streets parties in the early 2000s and maybe a little in the Corona times. So how do you do propaganda?
It's very much for you.
No, it's actually for you.
For me,
yeah, it's
I don't know much the Finnish scene. Today is my first day in Finland. Seconds. So I can answer by saying what's happening in Italy and what's happening in the UK. I believe that the collaboration is essential. So when you decide to create a free party, whether it's small or big, of course, you're going to break the law, whether you like it or not, whether you think it is right or not, or should not be right. And I believe then when there is collaborations, there are no issues. So every time I went to free parties and I saw shit happening, it was because both parties, I mean the free party organizers and the police, misbehaved. Okay, I don't like to say, only police are piece of shit, because it's also plenty of free party people who are piece of shit. Right? But every time that police arrives and the party organizers, when they explain what was happening and even though it was a lie, but we have people checking, if someone passed away in the boats, we're doing security. Police were cool, and problems did not arise. So what I think that should be happening in the future is understanding that we can collaborate. That we don't have necessarily be aggressive. And always think that the police are aggressive. But in the moment that we see, we're all people, we know we shouldn't be here, even though we like it, we all like to party, but whether we like it or not, as they say, we live in a society. So if we live in a country that they say, you cannot go to a fucking field and party for 4 days, you cannot. So, do we want to do it? Yes, okay. Let's try to, to bring, to use our tools smartly. And I would put in practice the same techniques I put in practice with my 4-year-olds. Okay? When I say in the morning, we need to go to school, put the fucking shoes on. No! So, you communicate. If you start saying, you need to put the shoes, we need to go. So the kid's gonna get angry. And then there is miscommunication. As I say, in the moment that there is no communication, society breaks down. So, if I explain to my kids, right, so we're going to be late, also you need the shoes then so we can play in the playground, so you're not going to get the socks dirty, whatever. So there's communication that you say, okay, that's the same with police. Police are kids, it's very easy. It's much easier than we think. So I think that's the future of, one of the ways that we can, have the free party movement carrying on.
Yeah, for my experience, I think from what we did several warehouse party. We did in the Stockman Barasto in Haga. We did in a school, gymnasia, basketball field. And every time the police came, before they left they can even open the door. I go talk to them and show them there is somebody who take care of this and who is organizing this. Is not totally anarchist. So basically, sometimes I have even police who said, hey, I'm a Goa DJ, and I never seen that from a long time. And when we have opened our clubs, there was actually neighbors who called the police to say there is some noise. So the police came, and actually it was 2 policemen who came at least 3 times to a free party to see what's happening. And he was like, oh, that's cool. No, I have to come right here too when there is something. I know this summer will be quite quiet for us. So I think Finnish police is they are human. So if you talk to them and respect what they say and show them that you are not, if you take care of this, basically they let you do. And if you have neighbors who who disturb by the noise, then you have to stop. And I think also what's the beauty of free party is that sometimes it stops because the police come. So it cannot always happen to the end. And I think this brings something special. So our thing is dance before the police come. So it gives something special to the moment because you never know when it will stop.
Right now is the fact that we are running in a capitalist democratic system, still a free country. It has its downside, but it also enables us to do stuff like have this kind of gear, this advanced technology which is produced by the systems that has its good sides, it has its bad sides. But because we live in the systems, there are some requirements that need to be met, and they should also represent our values of how we really want to do stuff. And I think the most important thing that needs to happen is safe space. So that's why I want to respect everybody, the nature around, the people living around, also the system. So if we respect them, and they will more likely respect us, and then also you need to have really carefully thought a plan about what you're doing, and so you have prepared for everything. Even in that case, you can have like a security guard or somebody free person who can sometimes put on a jacket if something happens, and we have these things thought out, and even if we don't have a legal permit by the state to run a party, but if we respect the landowner and we run by some basic safety and principles, and then if police come, then most of the time if there's no issue, and if you run your stuff with style, then it's like there's the rest of the day, like the stuff pretty good here, and there's no problem here. If you are distracting anybody, and there's no problem, and if you're in private space, I see no reason to interrupt the party. But that is not always the case, and if you, for example, I've done some open air parties in Helsinki. Like last year, I did like 5 open air parties, and mostly like this like drum-based psychedelic kind of stuff that happens in Helsinki. And in those parties, sometimes, for example, last summer we had like 1,000 people in Helsinki, and we were blasting until 7 a.m. And it was the most hot spot in Helsinki that night. And always came, they checked, turn around and use it a little bit, and let you continue, there's no problem. But sometimes, the next outdoor party, then there was 10 police squads coming there. It's like we won't leave until everybody's away from the escapes period and no end of discussion. So it's also really varies, and that's somehow unfortunate that the rules are not equal for everybody. Somebody might get the opportunity, but somebody not, even though the values represented might be the same. And also it depends on the city, and also about the police and how the local police perform their duties in the certain area, which comes from the high up, and that is also something to be aware of when you do that. What city are you performing in? Some cities I don't have such a passion experience organizing, but in some cities no problem. Just respect.
Yeah. So, what is your advice in case that if the system doesn't respect you?
Then we need to raise voice. We need to do something, and we need to think about what we can do. And if this is one person with no resources, and probably not much is going to happen. But then there's several hundred or 1,000 people doing stuff and all contributing. Then that's much more louder noise.
From what I experienced also in France, at some points, the police was really like breaking materials and arrested, like it was says on the documentary, that all the sound system in France has brought, for example, if you buy techno vinyls from Gigo, from underground techno stores, sometimes you have flyers who you can give to the community so they can take lawyers to get back the materials or get people out of prison. And the techno scene also, the 10 last years has been quite quiet because many organizers are also selling drugs and has been cut because when the repression happened, there used to be riots, and there is the story of the raver who lose a hand over a battle with police. After that, they decide that over 1,000 people, they let the free party happen, but they circle all the area, all the roads, and they don't let anybody or the alcohol or any substance they get cut. So I don't think in Finland it will happen to this point. I think we can easily talk with the police, but I have experience of collective or looking for a location and get caught by the police. Police ask them to stop, and they wait for police to left, and then they continue. Police come again, and then the next day when we were supposed to have the party, there were 10 cars of police around circling us and didn't let us. So I think it's important also as a free party organizer to sometimes respect also the decision of the police. We often made it to, like I remember, we had this frisbee golf field where we organized party, and one time the police came, and I just wait for the police to go away. I scream a new location, and then everybody helps to put all the speakers into the car, and then we met at the other, and we continue, but in like at least 10 kilometers far from the other, and this way it can happen. But if you don't respect if you don't like accept the decision that you have to stop, I think then will be a problem, because then they will not see like, oh, if we say to stop, they continue. I think then they start to think there is a problem, and you have to be hard on the people to make them understand.
Well, what he said is probably what I could have said. And so I would like to bring up something that happened 2 years ago at the UK sect. So I was there with the crew, so we set up everything. And during the night, police arrived. And in the morning, we started seeing drones flying around, okay? And there were lots of party goers and organizers. Fuck the drones. You see, police are controlling us with the drones. So because I was there documenting, not as a party goer, approach police and say, what are you doing guys with the drones? And they said, look, we don't give a shit if you snort the biggest light of MD of your life. We're just here to protect you, because we were on an abandoned airport in the middle of the woods. And there were water streams. So basically, those were drones with a thermal camera, just to see if people fell into the rivers. Because in the past, it happened. Actually, I was there in a technical where people did too much ketamine, went into the river and died. So they were just protecting us. And this is just to say again that when there is communication, when there is open communication, it is possible to do things. And 100% agreeing with what you said. Sometimes you just need to let it go. Yeah. Because, as I was saying earlier, whether you like it or not, you're doing something illegal. You're on someone else's land, full stop. It's not yours. Do you like to party? Yes. Can you do it this way? No. So, if police outnumbers you or have a very strong way of repressions, you can either go or fight. But police will answer back. And they are stronger, because they have batons, they may have teasers, and then we all say, fuck police on Facebook when we see police, charging people or confiscating the sound system. Again, I believe in communication.
No, I just remember a couple of years ago the police actually defended the ravers. There was a story in Helsingin Sanoma about the ravers. It was a Juhannus party, I think, and locals were complaining about the rave, and they contacted the police to comment on that, and the police actually said, we went there, it was okay. Shut up.
I mean, that's I don't find it hard to believe. There's been this pretty cool example of a free party happened a few years back in Spain, and the mayor of the town was called on the scene. And everybody was expecting the mayor to say, "What the fuck are you doing, guys? Let's bring as much police as possible and stop." And the mayor of the town said, "Look, guys, what you're doing should not be done, but you're here. So next time, just tell us first. We're gonna give you a piece of land, maybe just further away from animals and further away from maybe protected vegetation, and we'll make sure to bring you water. We'll make sure to keep you safe. Maybe we'll have an ambulance nearby and drugs control." So Once again, communication helps. Communication helps. So yeah, good.
Did you want to add something?
No, just something. So if you go on the website, you can see lots of uncut interviews, which are pretty cool to see. Some are in Italian, but YouTube offers a sort of live translations in English or Finnish. It's probably not the most accurate, but it can give you a way deeper understanding of what the guys thought about the documentary.
Just to say that free party has to always also respect the environment. So I think I have seen many times people organizing more open airs and then leave all the cans and all the cigarettes. We have a super example of psytrance community in Finland that basically lift up every cigarette's roach on the floor. So it's not free party if it doesn't respect the environment.
Yeah. First off, speaking of the psytrance environment, I've been talking a lot about this, and they share a lot of these values. But what I see in like Czech Republic, for example, I think the techno people there, they really so much broadcast that they're the highest friends of nature. But I see them before, I think in a more smarter and pre-thought way than even in the cyclists in Finland. Like when they think about trash, it's already being picked before the party ends, and when they think of where they perform, they don't go into the middle of the forest. They probably take some thick area, old mines, sand pits, and some sort of more barren place. So when you go there, you're not actually hurting the vegetation because the place is already spoiled, so there's nothing to spoil. So you won't go to the places you don't want to touch, and that's respecting the nature. And also with the sound, when you go to nature, that's one of the things for me when I went to drive through the Finnish countryside, looking at height and different kind of areas from the internet and seeing like where I can find a place. And when you really are aware of what the things you need to take in accord when you actually do something like this, there's a lot of small stuff if you think about the interaction with the surroundings that you really need to be aware of when you're designing this kind of event. And you really, when you start to think about the place, then you really start to realize that, okay, what are all the things I need to be being aware of, and what do I need to do in order to make this work. And that's also when it comes to the system, you really need to understand the system, and in some way it consists of the people, but in one way it's also a little bit of like a game in the sense. So if you play smart, even for example if the police come and they say that they need to move, but nobody said that we can go to another place and say, "I can't dare you didn't tell us that we cannot get together." So you're breaking the rules. You're in special locations. So that's playing the system. So you're breaking any rules, but you're just the rules. So I think that's important. So if you just go like, "Hey, fucking, what are you doing?" Then it's like, shut the fuck up and get lost. And they just don't care. But when you then they see that you're really thinking about what you're doing, and they most like they see no problem.
So, one little thing about what we're talking. Sometimes we talk about like the community helping the organizer, and in Finland we have a nice thing called panti. So even by taking panti is the recycling of the cans.
Right.
So even by taking down 10 cans, put a bag and give to the organizer, you found them, you help them like paying the gas or something. So that can be a part of participate to help the organizer make another party, and also to keep clean the place.
An idea that stuck to me and what came to me in many points when you were talking was that my freedom ends where your freedom starts. So also in the context, not inside the rave, but also the neighbors and the nature, and everybody has to be free.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So, as a gift for you for coming here, we want to give you a T-shirt. You want that?
White.
Black. Of course.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming.
for inviting us.
It's been so great. And also other things. You're amazing.
Then I'm wearing tonight.